What are we doing? We're making 100 horsepower on a PPV.
100 more horsepower. Yeah. This is a BTR 1 version 2. I didn't even know they had a version 2 out.
They X out that last number on their exhaust duration. That's how you know.
And this, what else did you do to this one?
Inch and 7/8 Kooks long tubes with high flow caps, stock mufflers, PCM cold air, and then all the DOD stuff we do: oil pump, chopper chain, cam plate.
And none of that makes power, but we do more than the average DOD delete to make sure we have reliability.
We do everything we can do while we're in there.
And this cam's picking up really nice. This is stock, made 300 and 323, which is probably what, maybe about right, a little low maybe, yeah. Approximately about right.
Yeah, I mean these things are varying degrees of condition.
Yeah, we've seen these dyno anywhere between 260 and 320 stock. Yeah. So this is probably right in the middle of the pack.
I like to do it before because they're not all the same. So we know that this car just a couple days ago made 300 on this dyno, and then so far we're up to 395 on 93. I think there's more in it. We're gonna let it cool off a little bit. Chris leaned out the air fuel just a bit up top.
We had to point that out. look how bad it is. Jeez.
Yeah, that's terrible.
It didn't like a lot of timing. We ended up around 23 to 24 degrees timing.
We think it's got 87.
It probably does. So this is almost 400 wheel with a stage 1 cam that'll work on a stock converter.
Yeah.
And probably 87 fuel.
Some people ask,
yeah,
how do the V2 stage 1s do? We've got the V2 stage 2, which is the red hot. We got lots of data on that, but one thing to point out on this car, we know for a fact that the factory mufflers on these cars are restrictive as all get out. They're terrible. We've done a back-to-back before where now again, this is stock muffler versus no muffler, but we unbolted the mufflers and picked up 30. On an SS, which you might have seen on one of the previous videos,
about 20, 25.
25 open to close. So, let's just say it was 20.
On the low side, that's
almost 420.
With a cam that you can drive stock converter all day long. Yeah. And the other thing that we always like with these new versions of the BTR cams is they don't fall off.
Look at the graph.
It's making the same horsepower at 57 to when we let off at 64. I may rev the shift points and limit her up a little bit just to hit 66, 67 to see what it does.
On the dyno though, we're going like 160 almost.
Yeah, these PPVs have 292 gear as well, so it's a lot of speed.
For sure. But this is awesome. Recipe for 400 horsepower, for 100 plus 100 horsepower right here is headers and a stage 1 cam PPV converter. It drives great, it autos like stock. It's got chop, but
it can auto good, it can sit in traffic, it's not gonna affect anything, and you don't have to do anything supporting in regards to your transmission and converter or anything of that nature. So we're really impressed with it so far. We're gonna put some E85 in it and let it cool down. We'll probably make one more hit here in a minute. Dusty, I know we don't have our finals, but you might as well hit him with the STD.
With the STD.
That's always, I don't even know how it would be today. Today's about 75. It shows in here.
Let's see. Let's surprise ourselves.
Yeah, we haven't even done this.
I didn't mean to do that.
Okay. Well.
That here, conditions.
Okay.
So it's SAE is adding 1% to nothing. So standard's going to be almost always 2 to 3% more. Let's see what it does today. Standard correction, adding 3S. So
yep. 404, 389.
It's adding 3% and 2%.
So that's awesome. We always give that data point, but we'll give a little bit more here on E85 and we'll let it cool down and see where we end up. Oh, look, we have a visitor. Oh yeah, we were just talking about E85.
You got that corn?
In Oakley. So anyways, we'll be back. We'll get one more dyno pull. We'll get some of the idle video, which on this car, you can literally barely hear it. And see if we can't gain a few more horsepower on some E. Okay, just put some E85 in it and got that dialed in. And we did a cool pull on the 93 before we did dial in the E85. So the E85 is not really that much of a cooled off run. But anyways, long story short, the numbers are good. 300, 323 as it came in, 400 and 385 torque on 93, or so probably a mix of 93, 87. We don't know, but not E85.
It didn't like the timing, we know that.
And then on E85, it picked up 12 horsepower and about 11 foot-pounds of torque. Just like we always say,
That's
2 to
between
3%.
2 and 3, yeah.
So it hit it good. This cam just keeps pulling great. I know we keep saying that, but the V2 cams, I mean the version 2 cams, yes, the version 2 cams really have a flat horsepower curve and they don't die off. We're gonna probably shift this car around 6,500. And it was just peaking before that number, so there was really no reason to pick it to turn it more.
Standard numbers.
Oh wow.
421.
Standard, it made 421, 404 torque. That's really impressive numbers for sure. Yeah. Again, this is a stage 1 cam that's made to work with everything else being stock besides springs pretty much. So we'll get the second dyno pull coming in next. I'll get a quick idle video for you here. Got a little chop, but it's hard to hear through these mufflers. You know, these
right up to it.
Yeah, these things are probably taking 25 horsepower pretty easily. So very good numbers. I think this cam would be capable of, with the right setup, what, 430, 440?
Yeah, I mean, you could do a ported intake, ported rotted intake. That'd probably pick it up 10 or so. I mean, mufflers,
Throttle body.
Mufflers huge. I want to see mufflers. We'll see what
Under,
he wants to do.
underdrive pulley?
Do mufflers.
Maybe even underdrive pulley?
It's just got nothing but a VCM, headers, and a cam.
That's literally it. Nothing. These cars come flex, so you can't even really count the additive E85 on this because it's just how the car came. So again, more numbers. We always try to stay on top of all the new cams on how they work and what they do. The flat horsepower curve really makes us love this one. You know, like I said, I was going to turn it more, but it all peaks below, you know, around 6. So there was really no reason to turn it out 6,500 because it's already peaked. It was coming down slowly, which shows that it's going to be able to turn 65, 60, 6,600 on the shift without issue. Anything else, Dustin?
No, awesome. See you next time.